Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Aina Nazra binti Zakaria, matrix number 073562, and I will present our project titled Student Complaint Management System. And my team members is Putri Mariam Husnia 072825 and Shamira Hani Zulkifli 073249. We'll start with the introduction. Student in residential college often face issues like broken facilities, poor cleanliness, and safety concerns. So currently complaints are made manually through verbal reports or messaging app. To address this, we propose a student complaint management system that allows students to submit complaints online, track their status, and receive feedback. This system aims to streamline the complaint process, ensure transparency, and improve response time for both administrator and students.
User requirement tell us what users can do with the system. So we have two main users, which is students and admin. So each student, they have their own login account where they can submit complaints, view the complaint status, which is either in action or done, and also delete their own complaint if necessary. After the issue is fixed, they can also give a rating and a reason of the done complaint. While for admin can also log into the system using a staff account. They can see all complaints that mark as in action and also change the status to done once the problem is resolved. And admin can also read the student feedback and delete complaints if necessary.
Z specification is a type of formal method under the analysis and design phases in SDLC.
Login module of our system. So this part is used to manage how users like students and admins to log in and log out of the system. So as you can see, we have a few defined sets for this module, which is student and admin, username and password used for login, and user include both students and admin users, and the response is will be we have success, already logged in, and also invalid user. For the state schema, it shows the current state of the login system, which includes a list of all students and admins, the password that links to username, a list of students who stay in the hostel, a set of currently logged in users, and also ensure that the username exists in both students and admins, and also the password. For the initial state schema, everything is empty, is zero. The login operation schema, login is the schema manage the login process where it checks if the user exists and match the password. So if everything is correct, the system will return success if the add the user to the login list. While if the user is already logged in, it will return already logged in. And if the user is not found or invalid password or username, then it will return invalid user. And for the second schema is a verify hostel student schema. After logging in, we check if the student is staying in the hostel, and if yes, it returned verified, and if not, it returned not hostel resident. Because at first, the student that can add the complaints is only for student that stays in hostel. For logout schema, it allows user to log out from the system, where it removes the user from the login list and returns logout. So in conclusion, is this login module controls how users log in, verify their hostel status, specifically for students, and log out of the system.
For student module, use sets like student, complaint ID, remarks, rating, and reason. Each complaint has a status which can either be in action, meaning it's still open, or then when it resolved. Next is slide and complaint. When the system first starts, there are no complaint or no ratings in the database. This is represented in the init complaint, where both complaints and ratings are initialized as empty sets. For add complaint, the add complaint operation allows a student to submit a new complaint. It requires to input the student's ID, a complaint ID, and remark. To proceed, the student must exist in the system, and the complaint ID must be new. If valid, the complaint is stored with a status of in action. For update complaint, if a complaint hasn't been resolved yet, the student can update its remark using update complaint. The system checks that the complaint belongs to the student and still in action status. Then the remark is updated while the status remains unchanged. For view on complaint operation lets a student view all their complaints regardless of status. We check that student is valid and that return only the complaint ID linked to that student. This ensures privacy and that no one can see others' complaints. For delete incomplete complaint, the student can also delete their complaint using the delete incomplete complaint operation, but only if the complaint hasn't been resolved yet. We verify the complaints exist is owned by the student and still marked as in action. Once deleted, the complaint is removed from the system, but the rating remains untouched. For view complete complaint allows students to see only the complaints that have been marked as done. Again, we confirm that the student is valid and then filter the list to include only completed complaints. Lastly, submit rating. Once a complaint is resolved, the student can use submit rating to give feedback. They provide a rating, a reason, and the original remark for reference. Before accepting the input, the system checks that the complaint is complete, belongs to the student, and hasn't been rated yet. If all the conditions are met, the rating and reason are safe.
Now we move to the admin modules. First, we define the given sets, which include all important elements like complaint ID, student, admin, remarks, status, rating, and reason. Then we define the possible outputs that can be appeared. For status, the values can be either in action or done. While ratings, we allow satisfactory, unsatisfactory, and good. After that, we have the state schema called complaint, which shows how complaints, ratings, admin, and student are stored in the system. The initial state schema sets everything to empty at the beginning, such as no complaints, no ratings, and no data until user interact with the system. Next, for view student complaint schema. This schema allows the admin to check complaints submitted by a student using their student ID. It filters and shows only that student complaints along with the remarks. The second one is update complaint status. This schema helps the admin update to a status of a complaint from inaction to done. Admin can also add remarks to indicate what action has been taken. We define possible outcome for a delete attempt. The system can return results like delete success, complaint not found, or cannot delete incomplete depending on the condition. Then in the delete completed complaint schema, the admin can delete complaints that are already marked as done. And lastly, the view completed rating schema allow admin to see ratings or feedback from students for complaints that have been resolved.
So the first one is this theorem confirms that the verify hosted students operation will always return the correct and valid result when given a valid student ID. So it ensures that the system behaves logically and handles the student verification more reliable. While the second theorem for logout is it verifies that logout behave properly. So while only a valid user can log out, and the system will give the correct state change.
For validation for student, add complaint declaration theorem. Here the theorem checks that the operation add complaint use valid inputs. The student ID is registered student. The complaint ID and remark also belong to their correct sets. For view on complaint declaration part, this theorem is used to formally verify the view on complaint operation. It checks two main things. First, the student ID must come from the set of valid student. The on output, which is a set of complaint ID, must be a subset of all possible complaint ID. In simple terms, this theorem ensures that only a real student can request to view complaints. The list of complaints returned to them only contains valid complaint ID that they actually own.
Next, for theorem view student complaint. This theorem ensures that the view student complaint operation is using valid input values. It checks that the student ID entered exists in the system, that the complaint list provided is made up of the valid complaint IDs, and that the remarks are also from an approved site. For theorem delete completed complaint declaration part, this theorem checks that the delete completed complaints operation is working with a valid complaint ID. It ensures the complaint we want to delete is already known by the system and maintains accuracy and prevents accidental deletion of complaints that don't exist.
Lastly, conclusion. To conclude, the admin module plays a key role in managing student complaint effectively. It allows admin to view, update, and delete complaint using clearly defined operations. By using that specification, we can formally describe how the system behaves and make sure everything works as expected. The theorems help validate the operation by ensuring that only correct and valid data is used. Overall, this approach improves the system reliability, maintain consistency, and make the complaint management process more transparent and efficient for both students and administrators.